Hey, welcome to Wholesome Financials Podcast. My name is Austin.
Susie.
And today we're talking about business credit card stacking. A lot of people will attribute this to just business funding, but there's so many different ways to fund your business. But when you see business funding, a lot of times we're talking about this. And so we get this question. And so if you ever want to know what is business credit card stacking, how does it work? Maybe you come across a company. We're going to go over it in this video today, what exactly it is. And so do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, let's do it. In simple terms, credit card stacking is basically applying for different credit cards in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Usually within a 30-day period.
Yep.
And the goal is to apply to different banks that pull specifically from a particular bureau. So let's say we apply to 3 banks that pull from Experian, we apply for 3 that pulls from Equifax, and then we apply for 3 that pull from TransUnion to maximize the amount of cards we can apply to in a short amount of time.
Nice. Okay. And the thing that people, here's the reason why this is an actual method that people are using to fund their business.
Yep.
It's because what you're stacking are, like I mentioned, you're stacking business credit cards. And the big reason why it's easy to stack business credit cards is, well, number one, there's a couple of criteria that you need to hit and have, LLC, things like that, like in order for you to get approved. But there's a way to crack the code so that when you get a business credit card, you can get a limit above 20,000 or around 25.
Yep.
And so that's the first thing that made this an actual viable way for business owners. The second thing is that you can take all of the available credit limit off of that credit card at a low percent interest, a lot lower than a regular loan, right? It's a lot easier to get a business credit card than it is to get a small business loan. But you can take all of the limit, the available credit limit off that credit card and go out and use it, completely liquidate that thing, and it doesn't impact your personal credit, at least the utilization. So being able to get these high limits is one thing, but the process of getting these high limits are 10 times easier than getting an SBA loan.
Yep.
If you have good credit. But most SBA loans, they check your credit too.
They do. So the reason why it's so attractive is because you don't have to show any type of documentations. Now, let's break that down a little bit. Documentation meaning you don't have to show any taxes. You don't have to show any bank statements, none of that. You do, of course, still have to show like your articles of incorporation from whatever state you open the LLC from, your EIN paperwork, and that's really about it. So in technicality, if you open an LLC about 30 days ago, you can use this strategy if you have good credit and maximize it and get you minimum 50, 100K to invest in your new venture.
Yeah. Now, like you mentioned, you have to have good credit. And so we're going to talk about business credit card stacking. In this video, we're going to go over, like I mentioned, we already started talking about what it is, but diving a little bit more into why people do it, some other benefits of utilizing business credit cards. And then last but not least, we'll get into the requirements. And so you already started with what it is, like the multiple accounts, right? You, I don't know if you want to expound on that. You say usually around like 30 days. And you also, I think, mentioned credit bureaus in the beginning. So it seems like there's a strategy here, right?
Yeah. So essentially, after you apply to about 3 banks that pull from the same bureau. So let's pick, for example, Experian, right? So off the top of my head, I know that Chase pulls from Experian, PNC, and Wells Fargo. We can technically hit all 3 within that 30-day window and still get approved. Now, once you get past that 3 mark, you're going to start getting denied because the inquiries, if you don't delete them, they're going to start reporting to your personal credit. And then you're going to start getting denied for that reason because they've see that you've applied for quite a few in the last 30 days. So after we exhaust Experian, then we move on to the banks that pull from TransUnion, and then we move on to the banks that pull from Equifax. After you go through the first round of each bank from each bureau, delete the inquiries, and then potentially you can go back for round 2 with a new set of banks at 0%. So usually the time period between round 1 and round 2 is about 3 to 4 months to kind of delete the inquiries, let the credit just breathe for a little bit, and then double back if you want more funding.
Yeah. Now, this strategy is, if you're new to the credit game or you're not really sure what you're doing, it can be kind of confusing. But something else I want to make sure we clarify, because I didn't say this in the beginning of the video. we're referring to 0% interest business credit cards.
Yep.
Right. I would not recommend this with a regular business credit card. You're going to get hit with 18 to 22% interest.
Sometimes like 29.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You might as well go ahead and try to put together some docs and get an SBA loan. But this is referring to 0% interest credit cards. And what's beautiful about this is, like you mentioned, if you follow that rhythm as far as that timeline, then you can stack. I mean, it sounds small when you go, oh, okay, I got a card for $20,000. For some, that's a lot. But for others, you're like, I need something a little bit more substantial. But if you can get a $75K card from Chase, a $25K card from Truist, like we're already at 100,000.
So that's the whole stacking aspect, right? You keep stacking until you reach a nice stack.
Now, and the beautiful part about it is, especially if you do these, like you mentioned, in a quick sequence, all of the 0% interest terms for those cards should start and end in the same month or so.
Exactly. So yeah, if you do it correctly, you should have that 0% clock just like simultaneously on other cards.
So this is how people get 0% interest funding for 12 to 18 months. That's how they get $100,000 at 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. This is the beauty of credit stacking. Like that right there alone. Now, obviously, how you fill out the application, your relationship with the banks, it's great to be coached and mentored through that.
Yeah.
That's what we do with our clients. We walk you through, we give you the data points, we handhold you, we introduce you to the bankers. And so that's how we're able to establish and help entrepreneurs and get this funding. And so I'd recommend, if you're trying to do this solo, keep watching a lot of our videos. We give out a lot of game. We just can't put it all in one because the video will be too long. But, or if you're like, you know what, I know I need funding, I'm interested in 0% interest funding, 12 to 18 months is a good term for me. I just don't know what I'm doing. I need some hand holding. Click the link below in our description, go to wholesomefinancials.com, apply to work with us, and then we can get you started. And I say apply because there's some requirements. Now, like I mentioned, we'll get to that in a second. But the next thing I want to dive into so we talked about what credit stacking is, why people use 0% interest business credit cards, like the benefit of it and how that helps business owners. What are some other benefits that come with 0% interest or just business credit cards in general that I think a lot of people overlook or don't take advantage of?
Yeah. So if you have a high spend business, you're going to obviously spend 5, 6, 8K on the card, maybe in one swipe, especially if you're like in real estate or you have a marketing agency. Most of these cards, if not all of them, come with points, reward points and benefits that you could use towards cash back. So like you could erase the debt from the card if you use it correctly, right? Like let's say you accrue $1,000 worth of cash back, you can put that towards your bill and cut that in half essentially. Also, if you're into travel, you can use those points to travel for pennies on the dollar, right? Yeah. So use the points to, book a round trip ticket to Tokyo, Japan, for example, for what, 47, 50,000 per person. Yeah. And essentially travel for free. Obviously you pay the taxes on it. So I think that's a very lucrative thing that most people overlook. Yeah. A lot of business owners don't know that that's available or that these points actually mean stuff, right? Yes. So I think that's a really, really cool benefit of using these cards.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful part about what you just said is normally when people think business credit cards, they run to the cashback cards. Yeah. Right? Because you're like, oh, okay, I can get an extra $100, $200 off. It, goes back to my bill. But like you mentioned, if you travel, the deals you're getting you're getting about 1.5 or 2 cents per point sometimes of your money back, which means normally when you spend $1, you get a point. But when you transfer those points to dollars on the other end, like when you're transferring to different hotels and airlines, that $1 can have the value of a 1.5, like $1.50 or $2, which makes it goes even farther. Number one, but number two, most of these 0% interest cards are not most of them, but some of them have sign up bonuses. And if you spend a certain amount within a certain time frame, they'll give you 60,000 points, which 1 cent per point has the value of $600. So they give you $600 just to spend money on this card as well. And so it's like SBA loan, they're not giving you no money for opening up an SBA loan. Yeah, they're about to hit you with some debt. They're about to hit you with an interest rate. They're going to hit you with a due date. And so business credit cards to me are so elite for that reason right there, which is super cool. Yeah. But they're not the easiest to get. You can't just stroll in there. There's some things you need to have. And so let's talk about some of the requirements, because 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, you're going to need good personal credit to get proof of this card.
Yeah. So essentially, it's a concept called PG. That's the acronym, but the actual word is personally guaranteed.
Yes.
Right. So because your business is so new, because they're not asking you for any type of documents as far as taxes, bank statements, none of that stuff, they're gonna want to see your personal credit.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you have good personal credit, anything above a 700 plus, meaning no collections, no late payments, no charge-offs. I mean, I'm talking about blue sky, perfect credit score.
Yep.
Then you can use this strategy to apply.
Yes.
If you don't, you're probably going to get denied, get low limits. So I would highly suggest going the credit repair route first before exploring this option, because you might be, down in the dumps if you try it and start getting denied.
No, it makes sense. And that's one thing I want to caution people. There's a lot of people on YouTube, and they're saying like, hey, how to get 30,000 or 20,000, how to get no doc loans with bad credit, right? Here's the thing, guys. Do those products exist? Yes. But I'm telling you, you're always going to pay more if you have bad credit. If you want 0% interest cards, you got to have good credit. 0% interest are reserved for the people that look financially responsible.
Yeah.
How can you tell a bank you look financially responsible? Have good credit score, right? Do what you need to do. Repair that credit. Or can you get loans with bad credit? Yes, but you're always going to pay more. It is cheaper to repair your credit than it is to get a loan with bad credit. I'll die on that hill. And so that's something that we recommend. That's why you'll never see loans with bad credit on this channel, like ever.
No.
Because I don't think it actually serves the person or the business owner in the long run, number one. And then number two, if you got bad credit, it's probably because something happened. And it doesn't mean you mismanage your money. Just could mean something happened. And so
emergency.
This is going to dig you a deeper hole.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense. Take your time, pause, fix that credit. And once that credit's right, then run in full steam. And so hopefully that helps. That makes sense. We get questions all the time about what credit card stacking is, how it works. And so hopefully in that video, we answered that. What it is, why do it, some of the benefits of using business credit cards, and then some of the requirements. And again, if you're looking to acquire high limit business credit cards to get access to 0% interest capital for your business, and you need help, this is something that we specialize in. We also work with term loans and equipment financing, things like that. But we love teaching people how to get 0% interest credit cards, because business credit cards, because it's just such a hidden gem right now. And while they're allowing you to get it,
take advantage.
Take advantage of it, 100%.
Yeah. Responsibly, that is.
Yeah, 100%. So we appreciate you guys sticking in with this video. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Talk to you later.